Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ian and today I'm going to be talking about how much I made my first year in real estate. I'm going to be going over all of my fees, all of the splits, how much I took home, how much I paid in taxes. I'm going to be going over everything. My goal with this video is to be as completely honest and as transparent as possible. So that way, if you're thinking about becoming a real estate agent, or if you are an agent at another brokerage and you're just kind of curious about how much somebody else is making and what the splits are, then this is the perfect video for you. So let's get started. Before we get started on how much I made, I'm going to be talking about the fees associated with EXP. So I will only have information based off of EXP. I don't know the splits of Century 21, Remax, KW. So I'm only going to be going over my experience. So to start off, EXP has a 80 to 20 split. So that means 80% gets paid to me, 20% gets paid to EXP. And then we have a $16,000 cap. So then once you hit your cap, you get 100% commission, which is awesome. And then if you do a certain number of production after your $16,000 cap, you get that $16,000 back in EXP stock. So that's one of the main reasons why I joined EXP. I love that fact. I love that feature. Other fees associated with EXP is a risk management fee and a broker review fee. Essentially, when you submit your documents for closing, we don't have an office, so everything is done online, which I like. And then those fees basically pay for the people to review all of your documents, your purchase contract, your addendums, everything. So that way you're not liable for anything. If a client comes back and says, hey, you didn't send me this or you didn't do this, you have it in the system that says, yes, I did it and I did it correctly.
We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
So that's what those fees are for. A couple of these other fees I'm going to be talking about are definitely optional, but they factor heavily into my first couple transactions. So one of the fees I'm going to be talking about is the mentor fee. So as a brand new agent, I didn't know what I was doing, like everybody who gets their real estate license. So I wanted to opt into the mentor program. So essentially your first 3 transactions, an extra 20% is taken from your commission. But I think it's worth it because you have a mentor assigned to you, and then you're able to ask them questions on, hey, like, how do you do a purchase contract? How do you do addendums? What's the time frame? When is earnest money due? All of that good stuff that just really sounds foreign when you first get your real estate license.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So another optional fee you can opt into with EXP is a stock equity program. I'm a big stock guy. I love stocks. I love owning the company that I'm working for. When I was in the Air Force, I couldn't own the Air Force. Unfortunately, they owned me. So it was, I kind of wanted to switch that up a little bit. But essentially with the EXP equity stock, you can pay 5% of your commission into buying the stock at a 10% discount, which I think is fantastic because at the end of the day, even if the stock goes up a little bit and you wanted to cash out the next month, you can literally sell those shares and you got it at a 10% discount. So you're technically just paying yourself even more, which is awesome. So another fee I'm going to be talking about extensively is the referral fee. So if you work with an agent from a different company, an agent in a different state, and you get referred a client, you will pay a referral fee to that client who referred you that client.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, so I think I explained it pretty well there. So essentially, if I have someone say, hey, someone's moving to Columbia, South Carolina, can you help them out? Sure, yeah, we go under contract, we close on the home, I pay them 25% of my commission, which I am more than happy to do because it's a client I wouldn't have had without that agent referring me that client. So it's a great way to keep business in-house, especially with EXP. Or if you're helping out another agent in Remax, Century 21, KW, then it all just plays out perfectly and you pay them a referral fee. So they're still getting paid for that client, but obviously you're doing a majority of the work, so you take home a majority of that commission. So yeah, just to review what I just talked about, I'm going to put them here. So we have the broker review fee, risk management fee, the stock equity program, the mentor fee for your first 3 transactions, and your broker split. And then that's not even everything. The last fee I'm going to be talking about is taxes. You have to pay taxes. Please, realtors, pay your taxes, man. So yeah, with that being said, that's all of the fees that I have listed, and that's everything I'm going to be talking about in this video. Alright, so now that I went over the fees, we're going to be talking about my numbers and my production. So I ended up closing 42 transactions my first full year as a real estate agent. I will start off by saying not everyone's chapter 1 is the same. I had good fortune, I'm very blessed, and I worked my ass off to get to where I got to. But not everyone's first year in real estate is going to be the same. But if you have the right opportunities, the right team, the right mentorship, it can happen. So yeah, with that being said, let's dive into my first transaction. So I got my real estate license in September 10th of 2021, and I ended up closing my first deal October 29th of 2021. So about a month and a half. And I'll start off by saying that when you get your real estate license, you don't know when you're going to close your first deal. I had no idea at the time. I was still active duty Air Force. And I was just kind of winging it and learning the system and learning how to be a realtor. And I ended up getting a client about a week after I got my license from another agent. So another agent referred me a client. She had some clients that were moving to Colombia. And so I said, hey, I can help. And she gave me the opportunity. So I am forever grateful for her for giving me the opportunity to help my first clients. So I ended up closing that first deal on October 29th, and the purchase price was $335,000. The commission split was 2.5% for me. So now I'm going to be putting up basically my splits and everything on this side of my screen. So I paid a 25% referral fee to this agent, which, like I said, I was more than happy to do because she gave me the opportunity. She handed me these clients and said they are pre-approved, ready to go. Go for it. Send it, man. And that's what I did. So luckily it ended up working out perfect. So yeah, on that 2.5% of 335, it was $83.75. And then I paid 25% referral fee. So after I paid that 25%, I ended up with $62.81.25. So $6,281.25 is how much I ended up with. And then I also had to pay my EXP split. So I paid my first 20% to EXP, which I closed my first deal. So EXP also awarded me with free shares, which I thought was awesome. I didn't know about that when I closed my first deal, so it was a nice little bonus. But I also paid my mentor fee at the same time. So I opted into the program, so I paid 20%, which 10% goes to my mentor and 10% goes to EXP University, which basically funds the whole thing and keeps everything circulating and going for new agents. And so that risk management and broker review fee I mentioned, I'm going to factor into the 20% I'm paying with EXP when it comes to my overall calculations. So after all of that, I ended up with $3,719.99. But I opted into the EXP equity program, so that was another 5% that was taken. So that ended up being $186 that I contributed to my stock portfolio. And I ended up with $3,533.99. But like I said, there's more. So taxes. Yes, we have to pay taxes. Taxes. Please don't forget about taxes. You will get screwed. I ended up putting about 20 to 25% of each transaction away depending on what I needed the money for. I was told 20% is a safe number. But on most of my transactions, as you'll see, I put about 25% away just to be safe. So I had extra money at the end of the year that I wasn't really accounting for, so I could use that to put into my business. So after taxes, I ended up with $2,650. So if you really think about that for a second, right? I got 2.5% commission on $335,000 purchase price, which was $83.75. I ended up with $26.50. So yeah, that's why I'm being as transparent and as honest as possible with this, because I don't want anybody to get into real estate and think, wow, you're getting 2.5% of this purchase price. You're loaded, man. You just got paid $8,000. No, you got a bunch of other things you have to pay into. Now, obviously, with it being a referral, with it being my first transaction with the mentor fee, it's going to be a bit higher than normal, which I was perfectly okay with just getting started. Okay, so to prevent this video from being like 80 minutes long, I'm going to be going over my 17th transaction, which was my first transaction after I had hit my cap. So it took me 16 transactions roughly to get to my $16,000 cap. So now I was trying to reach the Icon Achievement Award, so that way I could get the $16,000 that I paid to the company back in stock. So that was my biggest goal to accomplish at this point. So my 17th transaction was a listing that I had gotten organically through my sphere, so it wasn't a referral, so I had no referral fee. So I ended up making about $7,250 from the sale, and then I had to pay a $250 capped fee. So yes, it's 100% commission, but you do still pay a fee. So it ended up being about $250, which that's how much it is for all of your capped transactions. Unless you have a referral, which I'm going to go into depth in another video. But essentially that ended up with $7,000. And then I still, at this point, was opted into EXP's equity. So I ended up paying 5% towards the stock equity program, which was about $350. So I ended up netting $6,650 for this transaction. And then I put 25% away for this specific transaction just because I think this was the highest that I had net at this point. So I want to protect myself. I pay my taxes quarterly. That way I don't have a crazy amount sitting in my business checking account. And that way it's just paid and I know I'm good to go. So definitely talk to a CPA about that, but get your taxes in line. And I put 25% away, which was about $1,650, what I rounded it up to. So I ended up making about $5,000 total net after everything, which, like I said, was one of the highest commission checks I had gotten up to that point because I didn't have any fees associated with it. So it was awesome. Okay, so now that we've established how much I've made in different types of transactions, I'm going to be kind of splitting the screen and going month by month on the number of transactions that I ended up closing. So that way you guys can basically see how everything kind of snowballed. So in my first 6 months as a realtor, I only closed 4 transactions. So my first 4 months while I was a realtor, I was active duty still. So I was trying to separate from active duty and I was going through the transition process of the military, which, if some of you know, is very complex and it can be very time consuming. So in these months when I was trying to close deals, I ended up I was working probably 16 to 18 hours a day with the military and trying to do real estate and help clients. But ultimately, I kept going with my lead generation and I made sure that I was set up for success when I transitioned out of the military. So I ended up closing 4 transactions my first 6 months. And then as soon as March hit, I ended up closing about 6 or 7, which was obviously my biggest month, that at that point. So that was awesome. And that basically snowballed to the point where I was able to get the Icon Award for EXP. So I got my $16,000 cap that I paid back to me in stock, which is incredible because everyone knows the stock market is kind of at a low point right now. So I really feel like I kind of have the opportunity to cash out in a couple of years once that, opportunity arises again. Okay, so after a long discussion with my dogs, I have decided to release exclusive footage on basically some of my sales techniques that I used. And it's definitely what helped me close 42 transactions my first year. I wasn't thinking I was going to show this stuff to you guys, but I really do want to be honest with this channel. So yeah, let's dive into the video and see what techniques we can pick up.
Okay, we're gonna go. Sir,
Are you going to buy
we
this
don't
house?
want any trouble, sir.
Are you
Please,
going to buy this house?
just...
Are you going to buy this house? Are you going to buy this house? Yes, what? That's it. There we go. That's all I wanted to hear.
Congratulations, folks. You just bought a brand new house.
As you can see, those sales techniques are very effective, and I would highly recommend them to anybody that's looking to get into real estate or just sales in general. You could be selling cars, shoes. I think that strategy would work very nicely. All right, so enough of that. Let's get into how much I made. If you watched this whole video, I really appreciate it. If you skipped to the end just to see how much I made, I'm on to you. Anyway, all right. So after tallying up my numbers, I'm not the best at math, so I ended up just kind of, this is kind of a rough estimate, but I ran the numbers about 3 or 4 times, and it was somewhere in the range between 120 to 130,000, and that was after taxes, after my EXP split, after everything. That's basically how much I net this year. It was my first year. I was part-time for 4 months, but like I said, I'm extremely blessed to be where I am. And I'm extremely excited about the future and what my chapter 2 is going to look like. And I do want to remind you guys, not everyone's chapter 1 is the same. So this video isn't to make anyone feel discouraged or to flex. It was literally to be as honest as possible. And if you are thinking about a career in real estate, please reach out to me. I am with EXP, but EXP isn't for everyone. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out and I will do my best to mentor you and to answer any questions that you guys have. So again, I appreciate you guys watching my video. I'm going to be making tons of videos on different ways I got my clients, how I handle my clients, buyers, sellers, pretty much everything you can think of. I'm going to be as transparent and as honest as possible with my channel. So yeah, that's my goal with the channel. So I hope you guys have a great day. Stay sharp and I will see you guys again soon.